Hi everyone. Are you a mom struggling to find the right moment to reach out to your estranged adult child? You know, many moms with estranged children face that same dilemma every day and learning to figure out when to extend that olive branch and when to hold back. And it's definitely a huge dilemma that is full of uncertainty and heartache and some fear even. And so in this video, we're going to navigate that whole thing and we're going to talk through that. So I want you to grab a notebook and take some notes for yourself. For those of you that are new here to my channel, I just want to welcome you. My name is Sally Harris, and I am a mom who walked this difficult road with my own daughter for over a decade. And when her life spiraled, so did mine. You know, understanding estrangement is something that you've had to learn through this process, right? This is not something that we typically read about or we planned for, not in any stretch of your imagination, right? But it's very complex because it's a very painful experience, likely the most painful thing you've ever been through. I know it was for me, 100%. And it just left me feeling hurt and bewildered, and I'm sure you feel the same way. But I want you to know that it's not a full reflection of your worth as a parent or as a human being. And so I just want you to remember that, because this is a unique challenge that many families are facing. But there is no one size fits all. This isn't a cookie cutter fix, right? For any family, because every family is different. They have unique situations. We are all unique human beings. We have different personalities. And that's why there is no one size fits all solution, okay? But I want you to understand that the reasons for estrangement, you know, obviously vary. And my heart goes out to you, all of you. But if you're like me, where I didn't even know why. I didn't even know why we were estranged. I was super confused on why this was even happening. I didn't understand, you know, why my daughter chose to estrange herself from the family. And I want to highlight to you that this is not about whose fault it is, your fault, anyone's fault. But it can result from misunderstandings. It can result from differing life paths. It can result from unresolved issues in the family, but most of all, it's usually something that has to do with the inside of your child. Many of you, your inside of your child, their own unresolved issues from their past, whether it be from young childhood, teenage years, college years, adulthood, regardless, we all have stuff, okay? We all have things that we need to work through, and a lot of our kids are not getting the help that they need, not for any specific one reason, but they're choosing not to. And many of them, and adults, myself included, I chose to numb all of that with a drug. And that just made matters worse. And some of your kids might be doing that. You might be doing that, right? It did not serve me and it's not going to serve you. But you know, regardless of the situation of why you're estranged, we have to learn to be able to detach, right? And so just so you know that for those of you that, you know, are realizing that you need to learn how to do that, you know, living detached doesn't mean giving up hope. Not in any sense. But if that's you, there'll be a link down below in the comments for my next workshop, which is called Living Detached. And it's on Wednesday, the 13th of this month at 7 p.m. Eastern. So join me. It will help you process through some things. It's $89. You get the recording as well. So I'll see you there. But let's get back to this, because, you know, the biggest question is, when do I reach out? How do I know when to reach out? Reaching out to your estranged adult child is such a delicate step, one that should be taken with great care and great thought, and making sure that you are in a healthy place before you even do it. Because I can promise you that if you are reacting from something that they said or did, or maybe there's been some time lapse and you're frustrated and getting upset, and I completely understand where you're coming from with that, but I want you to know that if you are doing it out of that, you are reacting the same way maybe you did in the past, and this reaching out will not serve you, and it will not serve your relationship. And so it is essential to also, you know, really take a look at, did your son or daughter say, I need some time, I need some space, these are your boundaries, mom, this is the way things are. You know, a lot of positive change and personal growth, and I know firsthand with this, that when I separated myself, when I had to I had different situations. I had times where my daughter didn't reach out to us, and then I had times where I had to just walk away because I was trying to save my own life. And that might be you today, where you literally are like, you've got to start focusing on yourself. And really, when you are going to reach out, it needs to be from a place of health, and it needs to be from a genuine desire to reconnect and heal, not throw any guilt trips on anyone or anything like that, or even bring up the past, anything negative. This is about, if you did write a letter to your child or reach out, it needs to be a positive thing, things that you need to get off your chest. And it should not be written lightly. It needs to be something that you really think through. You need to, I think, reflect. We all do. We have to reflect on our motives. We have to reflect on why are we wanting to reconnect with our adult child, other than the obvious. The obvious is, that's my daughter. Of course I want to reconnect. That's my son, right? Your child's well-being, I believe, if there's any reason, any physical or emotional reason why it wouldn't be good for them to come back into your family, maybe you've got other things going on. I talk to a lot of you every week, and I know there's a lot of stuff in your families, a lot of things going on. Maybe it isn't a good time right now. Maybe it isn't the right time for them. So therefore, maybe it's not time to reach out until some other things get healed, right? So when to rest, when to wait, there is no absolute right answer, but sometimes the best course of action is to wait. If you have to choose, I know that patience can be really difficult sometimes, and especially when you're so emotional and emotions are running high. But I do encourage you to respect your son or daughter's timeline and needs, and emphasize that, this reconciliation, when we come back together as a family, it's got to be better than it was before, because there's reasons why they leave. Sometimes it's the family unit. Sometimes it's all them, and they're like, I'm out of here. This is just, they've had some things happen in their life where they just need to work on themselves. Ideally, that's not solving anything for anyone, right? Ideally, our hope is that we can do this together. But when sometimes we have to separate for a while in order to come back together even better. And I know that's hard to imagine, because that may feel like so many years away or so many months away. And I don't know what the time frame is for you, but what I do know is that some absence and some time working on yourself as a mom is going to serve you and your children and your family, but most of all you. It is going to serve you, and then you're going to show up better in all these other relationships. And so I do need to remind you of that. I need to remind you that self-care is so important. And I know I talk about it all the time, and I always will, because it's so stinking important. Like, it's an act of self-love. And if you can't love yourself, how do you love anyone else, right? And so I am saying this out of love. I'm saying this out of someone who didn't do it, right? I didn't do it very well for a very long time. And I want to remind you that every family is unique, okay? Like I said, there is no one-size-fits-all solution. So you do need to trust your instincts. You need to trust your instincts. And I know from your heart of hearts, the ultimate goal is healing and growth for both your children and for you and your family all together as a family unit. And that is the ultimate goal, right? But it's going to be baby steps to get there, and that's okay. So I will see you in the next video.